Hello programmers, Spidy is back with one another video. In previous video we have seen about how we can deploy Dell A2 or any OpenAI GPT models in EC2 and we can create a WhatsApp or Telegram chatbot. Also we have seen few SageMaker tutorials as well. So this video is a continuation of SageMaker series. In this, like in my previous video, what I have explained you is how you can use a SageMaker built-in algorithm of scikit-learn, or maybe you can use a TensorFlow or PyTorch. But in this video, I'm showing you how you can deploy your own custom algorithm, because see, whenever you are working, it might be not possible that every algorithm will be supported by SageMaker framework, right? So you need to have this capability that you can build your own algorithm with SageMaker framework, and you can use your algorithm in your production account. So without wasting time, let's get started. So for this, we are going to officially follow the official documentation of AWS SageMaker. So this is the code. I will provide this link as well, but I have a change, like I have done some few modification because this way is not working as of now, because I face lots of issues and errors. So for that I have created my own approach to build algorithm using SageMaker. So without wasting time, let's get started. So let's see first of all what we need to have. So what is our task? Let's understand task and divide it into different modules. So what is task? Creating a custom algorithm in SageMaker. Now this is task. Okay, now what are the services that we are going to use? The SageMaker S3 for storage, ECR Elastic Container Registry to store your algorithm, and AWS CodeBuild to run your Docker images. So Docker also we are going to use. Now use case I already explained you, like see in most of the cases might be possible ki you can't use scikit-learn, TensorFlow or any most popular framework. You need to build your own algorithm, right? So for this we are going to do this task. Now second is, let's comprehend the necessary hierarchy that we need to follow in SageMaker. See, any framework is being created, they are having some following protocols and rules. So if we want to create their algorithm in that environment, we need to follow that protocols, right? So without wasting time, let's see what are the protocols and what are the rules that you need to follow while building your like your own algorithm. Now let me go to my PyCharm. So first of all, few files that you need to have. The first one is a Dockerfile. Dockerfile is nothing but you know, it will run into your when you are going to create algorithm on SageMaker, it will run into the your container and it will create your algorithm, right? So this is the Dockerfile. Now what are the things that you need to mention here? So here you need to mention your requirements. See, all those things will be similar for you, but you need to mention your requirement here. Like you can see pip install, then numpy, scipy, scikit-learn, flask, pandas, gunicorn. So flask and gunicorn you need to leave default because SageMaker is going to use this library. But now here you need to change your requirement. Here I'm going to build a scikit-learn decision tree with my custom logic, right? So I need to have installed scikit-learn and scipy, numpy that you can mention. You can mention any other version. See, if you are using any third party algorithm like any torch algorithm or CD classifier, any algorithm third party, that you need to mention this. Now second thing is the Docker file is ready. Now you need to create one folder called container. So first of all this configuration you need to do make in local system, so you will have lots of things, and then you can also make a lots of changes as well. So first of all you need to create a train file. Now this train file will be feeding into the SageMaker environment while creating the algorithm. So first line always should be this user bin environment Python. If you are not going to write this line, then your algorithm building will be failed. So this is most important step. Now other important libraries you can pick, you can import. So now this training file I have taken the reference from this official only. So the same files you will access here as well. If you are going to this decision tree folder, you will see the same file as well, right? But I have done few modification because I need to explain why, like how this is working, right? So now assume that what I'm going to do is, here for simplicity I'm just going to pick up the iris dataset. Now so this training file, assume that whatever data is being passed to me, it will be iris only, right? Because see, if you are going to build your own algorithm, so obviously you will have some dataset boundaries. You are going to use your own algorithm in this for particular this dataset only, right? So this would be static only, you can consider. Now whenever you are working with SageMaker container, this is the by default part, opt/ml, that you don't need to change. Please make sure this prefix should be always maintained. Now input data. So when someone is going to pass a data to your algorithm, right? So this is the path like input slash data. Also you need to have output path, so this is output path, and second is model path. So in model path your model will be stored, and the parameter path. So if someone wants to pass hyperparameters to your algorithm, so SageMaker will treat as a different file which is hyperparameter.json. So these things are mandatory, as I mentioned, these protocols you need to follow, so this path should be followed. Now channel name is nothing but whenever you are fitting your algorithm, let me show in notebook as well. So let me show you, just a minute, I'm zooming it a little bit. So I hope you guys are aware with this script, like SageMaker.estimator So here when I'm fitting, I'm passing this data location, right? So this data location will be treated as your training. So training is nothing but your channel. Okay, so that you need to pass. As of now I mentioned training, and training is the most suitable. Now you need to define your training path. So whenever you are going to give S3 data, S3 URI of your data, it will pick up automatically. Now this is the function of training. So first of all, we need to assume that if user is passing any hyperparameters, so we need to take this JSON and load the JSON. Now I'm printing the logs as well. This hyperparameter JSON is being loaded. Now on this training channel, if there is no files, then it will generate the exception. But if files are there, then it will create a list of available files. So here in this logic, what we are assuming that ki iris CSV file will be uploaded. So what it will do, it will pick up the iris.csv and it will make this as a data frame. You can see all this code here. So now what I'm assuming ki you are already aware with a lots of like core concept of machine learning, pandas and other stuff. So guys, I can't teach you how to load the data frame, what are the data frames. So I'm assuming that ki you know the data frame, some other stuff. Now as I'm assuming, as I told earlier, ki we need to assume ki only iris data will be passed. So if you know iris data set, so labels will be into the 0th column on the first column. So train y and train x we need to define. So what we are doing as a simple machine learning format, we are just splitting the data into dependent and independent variables. Now here what I am doing is, here I am reading the hyperparameter values. If user has provided this hyperparameter value, this max leaf node random state criterion. So as of now I am using only 3, but in your case you can have more number of hyperparameters as well. So now my algorithm will only support 3 hyperparameters, but in your case you can pass multiple hyperparameters. So this is the way how you can read hyperparameters which is provided by the user. But if user is not providing, then we need to take some default values. So here these values are given default, and here you are building a normal decision tree classifier. So if in your case this algorithm might be different as well. Instead of scikit-learn, maybe you can use any different dependency as well, right? Now the most important part is you need to dump your model, and where you need to dump, on a model path. Model path we already have defined here. So this is the SageMaker role. Input and output should be this only, OPT, ML and whatever this thing that we have mentioned. So on the same model path our output should be dump. So it will store the pickle file, and when your training will be done, you will just get the log ki model is saved at OPT/ML. Now what automatic SageMaker container will do, from this predefined path, when your training is being finished, it will automatically pick up the output file, like either your dump, model dump, scalar dump, or any saved model file is there. It will create model.tar.gz file automatically, and it will store into the S3. So you will get your model artifacts delivered in S3. But most of time what we are thinking is how it is doing, but it's doing nothing. It's picking up this path and it is building the model.tar.gz file. So this is very simple training script that I have created, and also it's going to run in a container, so we need to check for the errors as well. So we need to make sure ki exception should be handled. So if your training is going to fail for any reason, you should mention system.exit 255, means you will get an error with proper exception reason. Otherwise, if your everything is working fine, then you will mention system.exit 0. It shows that your training is being success. Okay, so now here this is just a simple train file, but now how many files are required? Nginx configure. So this file will be same for every framework, every algorithm that you are going to implement. Only few files that you need to change. The first one is a train file that we already changed. and the second one is a predictor.py. Predictor.py is a nothing but is a Flask and GUnicorn application that will run into the endpoint of SageMaker. So here also structure is given. So now what this is doing, so train file is creating the model artifacts, and predictor file is reading the model artifacts and serving as an endpoint. So what it is doing, it is loading your model which is you created in train.file, and it is returning the prediction to user. If someone is requesting to your SageMaker endpoint, this predictor.py will give the response. So here basically you don't need to change anything, but in case if you want to add, see, as of now this script only support for the text CSV only. If your content type is text CSV while passing the request, then it will give the response, otherwise it will give the error. So if you want to add application JSON or other format as well, that you can change this as well. But as of now this is the same which is available in this official repository as well. So I didn't make any changes, but I changed few things in train file because I have given the hyperparameter support as well. Okay, now this nginx.configure file will be very same, you don't need to change anything. Predictor.py, as I mentioned, if you want to add more types, right, then you can change, otherwise this will be very default. So what this is doing, let me give you in one line. So this predictor.py ping, so it's have the ping function which is using Flask framework. So when you are going to create your endpoint, see, let me go into the SageMaker notebook. So when you are going to run this method estimated.deploy, so .deploy will create a SageMaker endpoint for you, right? So during that time when endpoint will be created, it will go and directly automatically health check system will ping on this method on .ping. So it will automatically get 200 response. Then your endpoint will be available, otherwise you will get the error. So if you are not going to this, if you are not going to provide this predictor.py, you will end up being error. Your endpoint is not deployed. You will see the lots of error regarding your endpoint. Now this is your invocation. When someone is sending data to your endpoint, so this will automatically handle, if it is a text.csv, it will return the response as well. So if you want to see the Flask response is here and status is 200, MIME type is a text CSV. So you will get the proper response if someone is sending request to your model. So this is very important, this train file and predictor file. Now there is a serve.file which is a Python file, but you don't need to change anything here. And the last one is a WSGI. Here also you don't need to change anything. So few files that you need to update, a train file and predictor.py. Now predictor.py is optional. If you want to add any more application JSON or any other MIME types, that you can change, otherwise it's optional. Okay, so now according to our flow, we already seen the second and third, we already seen the structure, and we already see the code as well. Now it's time to build the algorithm. So what we need to follow here, like, you know, according to as per official guidelines, as per the official, you should have Docker installed within your system. But now that is more complicated task, so we are going to use the SageMaker Docker only. So this is the official notebook. This notebook link I will give in the comment section. But before that, you need to follow some structure in SageMaker as well. So on my left side, you can see the focus. On my left side, I have created few folders. The first one is notebook, second one is iris.csv. But I have created the folder called algo container. In algo container, I need to place my Dockerfile. Now in algo container, I need to create my algorithm name folder, either it's decision tree or any random algorithm that you want to create. Now in this folder, you need to upload all these 5 files. Make sure Dockerfile you are uploading outside of this folder. Dockerfile should be here, but in this decision tree folder, in your algorithm folder, you just need to upload all the 5 files, whatever you have created. This is very important step. If you are missing with this, then you will get an error. Now most important thing is you need to remove the .py extension of your train file and serve file. So you will see, you can see these two logos are different because it's not a Python file. But if you are going to open this, it will be treated as a text file. It will be not treated as a Python file, because this is the reason when it's going to run into the container. If you remember, I told you on first line you will see this. So it will automatically treat as a Python file, but later on, but as of now it should be contained as a text file. So this train and serve file should be treated as a text. So you need to remove the extension. So either you can, what you can do is just go and rename here, and you can remove the extension. This is most important step. Okay, now I assume that you have created this folder RIG. Now we need to run. So first of all, we need to check the Docker file. So if I am going to see this command cat algo container, so here in this case you just need to mention your folder name. In in my case it's the algo container. So I can see my Docker file is available here. Now building then registering the container. So for this, as I mentioned, like previously the procedure was to have Docker installed in your system, but now we are going to use the sm docker, which is a SageMaker Docker. So for that we need to install this SageMaker Studio image build. Now most important thing is, now we need to create one IAM role for this task. Okay, so you need to copy this policy, whatever that I have given. You need to go into the console, search for the IAM, okay, now IAM will be open. We need to create a one separate role for this task. Role section you will find on the left side. So in my condition, let me go back to the notebook. See, after the next cell, this is the most important cell here. Here you can see in the role argument I have passed the SageMaker build role. Okay, and I also passed the one bucket as well. So but this name bucket should be created. So these two are important thing. The bucket, I'm assuming that you know how to create a SageMaker S3 bucket, and for role I'm showing you how to create a role. So you just need to click on create role button. You need to select a custom trust policy. Now here you need to, in custom trust policy, here you need to just copy this whatever I have given and paste this here. Okay, when it will going, when you are going to click on next, it will going to ask you for the permission. So here you can as of now give the administrator access, because it is going to use a lots of services. Otherwise you can give the one permission access as well, like ECR full access or any other access like S3 full access. But for simplicity, if you don't want to see any error, you need to give the administrator access. After giving it, just click on next, and you just need to save it. So that's how I have created my IAM role. So same procedure you need to follow. So in my case, my IAM role name is SageMaker build role. So you also need to give the proper IAM role name. Now in this cell you need to build, you need to write your algorithm name. So here I am writing a custom -algorithm sklearn. Here in this case you can write any other name. Okay, so I'm going to execute this. This will take almost 5 to 7 minutes to build algorithm. So you just need to be patient here. Now for patience, you can sit 5 minute idle, but if you are more enthusiastic, what you can do is you can check the logs from the CodeBuild section. So if you are going to search CodeBuild here, so you just need to open the CodeBuild console, and you will see all the logs whatever is being running here. So basically what this cell is doing, it will automatically run the Docker image. It will push the Docker image into the ECR. So that I will also show you. So you can see now in progress. On the first you will see it is in progress. So you just need to click on this and you can see the logs. Okay, so for now I'm pausing this video, and all the logs will be shown showcased here in this notebook as well. You just need to wait for 5 minutes. Yeah, so now you can see on my screen the procedure has been completed successfully. Like how you can check, you will get this message success at the end, or if there is any failure because of any permission issue or maybe any other Dockerfile issue, you will see the error as well. So in my case it got success. You will see if you want to check the logs, see all these are the Dockerfile creation log. I hope you guys are aware with the Docker. So what it is doing is it is pushing the algorithm into our ECR repository. So let me redirect to the ECR repository. So this is the Elastic Container Registry, and if you remember, we have given the custom algorithm sklearn name. So now you can see the algorithm is registered here. It is a private algorithm, only you can use it within your environment. No other can use. Now from here you need to do one thing. You just need to copy this image URI. You can see the image URI here. Either you can do copy from here as well, or you can do copy from here as well. Now we need to check our algorithm is built successfully or not. So you just need to follow this notebook. So what this is doing, it is just a simple fitting of the algorithm. Here we are using the SageMaker. We are getting the execution role, importing the Boto3. We are creating the SageMaker session in this role. Now First of all, you need to copy the image URI in this image variable. Okay, so in my case I have copied the original image URI. Now you need to go into the S3 and you need to upload your training data. So I already created the bucket called SageMaker Tutorials ML Hub. In this I have created the folder algo container and I have already uploaded this iris.csv. Now you just need to copy the path of this iris.csv, select this copy S3 URI. You need to give here, but please make sure that you don't need to give the name of file. You need to give only path till the folder. So you need to remove the file name, you just need to have the path till folder only. Otherwise it will be totally static, but what our algorithm is doing, it is finding the file which is CSV file. Okay, but what our algorithm assumes that in this folder you are going to upload the file of iris.csv dataset only. If it is on other dataset file, you will get the error because it will be not fitted, because might be possible on 0th index, as we mentioned in training script, any other column should be there, might be possible. So you will get the error if you are uploading any other file. So we are assuming that here we are uploading our needed dataset. Okay, so let's run this cell. Okay, now as I mentioned in our script of algorithm, we have defined the three parameters only, for three hyperparameters only. You can see max leaf node, random state and criterion. So that you need to create a parameter dictionary here and you need to pass any random value. Like for this I am passing this hyperparameter. Now it's most important and fun time. We need to check our algorithm is built or not. So previously what we were doing is from SageMaker we are importing the sklearn, scikit-learn or TensorFlow, but in this case we are going to import the estimator because it's a custom built algorithm. Here we need to define few things in estimator. The first one is the address of our algorithm, which is image URI, then role, which is execution role, instance count, instance type, I am going to choose MLC for 2x large, output path, where your output your dump model will be stored. As I mentioned, it will create model.tat.gz file, so in this folder it will automatically store the dump. SageMaker session, you need to mention hyperparameters, which is most important. You need to pass your parameter dictionary. Train, use port instance. Port instance means it will be the cost effective and maximum runtime would be 3600 seconds, and wait to, like, this is the random values that you can pass. So like with this 3 line, it will be the spot instance and it will be take the lower charges. Okay, so let's run this. Now it's the most important time, estimated.fit. So here you need to pass your data location. Data location is nothing but S3 URI, address of our data set. URI is nothing but address of your data set, and I'm mentioning logs is equal to true. So you will get all logs should be printed. So I'm just going to run this and it will take 2 to 3 minutes for training, and you will see the message started the training job. Now you can find the running training job here on training section as well. In training job on left panel you will find the training job, and you can see this is in progress. So this is the same job that we have created. So you can read all the information of this algorithm, like what are the hyperparameters that we passed. So all this information, like what is the instance type, what are the instance type, like spot instance, what is the maximum runtime, input mode is equal to file because we have already provided the file, S3 prefix of dataset. So all this information you can see here. So I'm just pausing the video. I will show you the result when algorithm is being trained. And now I'm just showing you the training logs. So here you can see my training completed successfully. So this is the log, like from initial it will start the training job, then it will preparing for the instance, downloading data from S3. So you can see whatever hyperparameters that I have again, it's now visible here. So all this print statement which we have defined in train file, so this is what it is printing. Basically in the algorithm backend our train file is running. So you will see the found following training files. So iris.csv automatically found. So if you are going to see, it will show the same file here, same print statement here that I have written. Now it is saving the model saved at opt model, opt/ml model, and training is being completed. Now let's deploy the endpoint. So I'm just going to run this cell, it will deploy the endpoint. So till the time, let me show you, let me go back to the training job, and you will see that the training job is completed successfully. Okay, so let's check our endpoint is being created or not. So if we are going to click on endpoint, you will see the endpoint is in progress, it is in creating stage, and training job which is already completed successfully. Now most important part, the output zip. If you want to access your model output, so it will show you the S3 model artifact link. So this model.tat.gz file, if you are going to download this zip, you will find this pickle model in the sense whatever file that we have dumped during in our code, which is decision tree model pickle file. Okay, so from this S3, sorry, not this, but from this S3 URI you can download this, and you will find the same model which you already dumped. So this is how SageMaker is working. So let's wait till the endpoint being created, and then we'll provide the data set and we'll provide some test sample to our endpoint, and we'll check our endpoint is working or not. So let's wait for a few more minutes. And now you can see my endpoint is deployed successfully. If it is successful, you will get this kind of symbol, and as well you can check the endpoint. It should be in green stage in service. It means that your endpoint is deployed successfully. Now if your endpoint is not deployed within 5 to 10 minutes, then assume that there is some error with your training file or either predictor file. So endpoint is totally running on a predictor.py, because see, your train file is used for the model training, right? But also this train file and predictor.py file both are dependent on each other, because in train file you are dumping the model, in predictor.py you are reading the model. So if you are not dumping on the right path, which is SageMaker, which is expected by SageMaker, you will get the error in predictor.py, and if it is in error, then this endpoint creation will go until the infinite. So it will take 15 or 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes you will get the error message. So remember my point, if it is taking more than 10 to 15 minutes, then there is something issue with your predictor.py file. Okay, now let's check our endpoint is deployed, but it's running or not. So for that I am reading the test iris.csv. I am going to pass few samples to my endpoint. So let me remove the label column. Okay, now I'm passing some render data of a testing, and let's run predictor.predict, and I got the prediction successfully. So I have passed few samples and I got the proper prediction. So it means that my endpoint is working. So when I'm sending this this data to my endpoint, it will execute all these methods. Like first of all, it will go into the invocation, it will check either it is a text CSV request or not. If it is a text CSV request, then it will automatically return the data with some proper data frame format, and you will get the response. If it is not text CSV, you will get this error message, this predictor only support text only CSV data. So that's how it is working. And make sure ki after your experiment is done, if you are not going to use the endpoint, please delete the endpoint, otherwise you will end up being cost. But before deleting endpoint, let me show you the endpoint log as well. So if you want to check the endpoint log, so all this thing will be into logs, like whatever we have written in predictor.py. So all things you can check within this log. You will see the model container log link here. So it will open the new CloudWatch window, and you can check your logs whether if there is also issue with your endpoint, you can find the logs here. So from that you can assume, or you can find what are the reasons to getting endpoint is being failed. I don't know why it's taking much time to load the logs. So you need to click on this log stream. So this log will be something for the predictor.py. So you can see this get ping, because of it is running in predictor.py, we are running the Flask application. So this log are very similar to you, like whatever you have seen in Flask. Okay, so this is that what I want to showcase you. And at the end, let's clean the endpoint. Make sure you are doing this, because this is a costlier. If you are forgetting the deleting the endpoint, you will see the huge cost in your AWS billing. So make sure you are cleaning the resources as well, and at the end you are closing this SageMaker Studio, shut down all, otherwise this will also take the charge. If you are forgetting to shut down all these you will be ended up with charge, and all this code I'm going to provide in description as well. So from that you will find the link, and don't forget to subscribe our Machine Learning Hub YouTube channel. You will see the videos regarding lots of this SageMaker, Gen AI, and lots of other tutorials regarding AI machine learning. So don't forget to subscribe our Machine Learning Hub channel, and don't forget to clean up the resources. So guys, see you in the next one. So till that, keep learning and do subscribe.